Heyo gamers, welcome back to yet another Duck of the Stars video. Obviously by the title, you already know that we're going to be talking about game streaming services, specifically Amazon Luna and Google Stadia. These two devices promise to change the way that we play video games, to revolutionize the entire industry, but obviously failed to do so. Why did that happen? Today, that's what we're going to look at. If you haven't done so already, I strongly urge you to consider liking this video and subscribing to my channel. As a smaller creator, your continued support means more than I could ever put into words. And make sure to stay until the end of the video, as I have something very special that I want to share with you guys. I won't take up any more time, and without further ado, let's dive right into the world of cloud gaming. I really don't think there's a better way to show how I really feel about these products than showing my initial reactions to unboxing them. And so that's exactly what we're gonna do. Let's take a trip back to March of this year and see what I thought when I first opened up these devices. And here's Google Stadia. So I actually got this used, and although it is used, it is still new in box. So you're gonna have to bear with me while I try and open this thing. Sorry, that took way longer than it should have. Alright. And we have the Stadia controller. I don't know, it's light. It feels lighter, cheaper than an Xbox controller. Especially these triggers. I'm not sure how I feel about that. Buttons are generally pretty nice though. I don't know how long the other person had this, so the controller is definitely dead. And let's keep going. Actually, let's set this right here so you guys can see. Okay. Here it looks like we got our information. Yep, setup guide. Not bad. Google did a good job of making this look professional, although they are a multi-billion-dollar company, so I don't know what excuse they'd have not to. Here's one of the stars of the show. A Chromecast is what you get with this. Oh, interesting. It's magnetic. Don't know how I feel about that, honestly. Let's see if we can get a better light in here. There we go. And we got a Chromecast. And it looks like this might be the last thing in here. Yeah, it's the last thing in. And it's just a power cord. But it does have a LAN adapter, or a LAN port. Doesn't come with a LAN adapter, that's kind of disappointing, but I have plenty, so that's not too big of an issue. So I'm not really sure how we're supposed to use this and this at the same time. I guess we'll get into that in a little bit here, but you know, I guess it's supposed to be marketed as just the controller, and well, yeah, that's pretty much all you get, other than, of course, a cord to power the controller, which is nice. That's something that Nintendo didn't do with the Switch Lite. Alright. Truthfully, I am recording this way in advance. I figured I would create a video on this topic, so I am presuming that we're going to do another unboxing next. So let's go right to that. But before I do, I just want to know how stupid I am. Just remember that the Chromecast does need power, so this is for the Chromecast. Plug in just like this, and then the Stadia controller gets its own AC adapter. Just wanted to point out, there is a point to having both of these. I am just the biggest idiot in the world right now. Okay, let's move on. Even smaller yet is the Amazon Luna. I gotta give props where props are, I guess, due. They really knew how to make it compact. Ooh, this is nice and slick too. It doesn't rip the cardboard. Get to keep the box in nice shape. big reveal. Yep, that's it. And is this... Oh, we get Amazon AA batteries. Fortunately, does not look like they're rechargeable. And a nice, very small instruction manual, and I think that is literally it. And let's take a look at the controller. So this... It definitely feels more high quality than Stadia. It definitely still has the issue where the triggers don't click. The rest of these buttons, I'll be honest, they don't feel half bad. A nice USB-C port. Okay, we got, yeah, just a port back here. It's very reminiscent of an Xbox controller. I would say maybe like a Series X. It feels cheaper for sure. But I guess that's kind of the point, is that, you know, it's it's not exactly supposed to be pro quality. I don't know if I can show it on here. It's not gonna look good, but the bumps on the controller, I guess you'd call it the grips, are not like anything I've seen before. It seems like an almost random pattern. Yeah, I don't know how to feel about this. I guess we'll put it to the test now, and maybe I can make a more informed opinion then, so let's go right to that. To begin my analysis of these two, I'm gonna do the one thing that no sane gamer would do. I'm gonna give these guys a chance. Let's get a couple things straight first. Cloud gaming, when done right, can be amazing. It's a great way to take games on the go, which could never traditionally fit on a portable console. It's also supposedly affordable. You don't need to buy any bulky hardware in theory, since the game is being streamed from an optimized machine. Cloud gaming as a whole really only became available at the end of the 2010s. However, in my opinion, Steam really brought this concept into the mainstream with the introduction of the Steam Link in November 2015. It's not quite cloud gaming, but if you are interested in hearing about it, I have made a video on this topic before. Of course, every major console company also tried their hand at cloud gaming in one form or another. PlayStation launched PlayStation Now in beta as early as 2014. Developers for the Nintendo Switch were releasing cloud versions of their game as early as 2018, and in late 2020, Microsoft released Xbox Cloud Gaming. All three major companies showed us how cloud gaming could in some way benefit gamers. But if you'll notice, there's one thing that all three have in common. They're already well established in the gaming industry. This certainly isn't to say that Amazon or Google didn't have the technological capabilities or the technological knowledge to launch these products. Obviously, that would be a foolish statement to make. However, they did not have the loyalty that other known gaming companies like Nintendo, Xbox, PlayStation, and even Nvidia had. And so, while major companies were doing their best with cloud gaming, Google launched Stadia to a collective. Despite their aggressive marketing campaign, Google Stadia really did not get off the ground. In fact, you can't even access it now, as it shut down in January 2023. The literal reason they gave for its shutdown was that they couldn't build traction among gamers. Luna actually came a while later, in March 1st of 2022, and much like Stadia, it hasn't made that big of a splash in the gaming industry. It has been over a year since it launched, and the grand total of games on this service is 227. That may sound like a lot to begin with, but keep in mind that there are currently 4,487 games on Nintendo Switch, which would amount to almost 800 gained per year. Part of the problem comes from the idea of cloud gaming itself. While it is now much more developed than it was in the mid-2010s, for example, there are still quite a few limitations. First off, let's discuss input lag. Even with advanced streaming technology, it can still be a major issue for users. Stadia and Luna both made efforts to minimize input lag, but the reality is that it can still be frustrating, and it will always be present. It's a particular issue for those who play fast-paced games where split-second timing is critical. This is probably the main reason why most serious gamers immediately dismiss it. And of course, on top of that, there's the need for a stable, high-speed internet connection. This problem obviously doesn't affect everybody, but it can result in these services being practically unusable in certain regions. This is particularly true for those who live in areas with poor internet infrastructure or who have data caps on their usage. So for those of us who live in major cities, this actually may be a negligible issue. However, even if your internet is fast enough, the amount of data used by streaming video games can be a grave concern. One problem which plagued both Stadia and Luna were their pricing models. Stadia in particular faced harsh criticism for its requirement that users purchase their games individually, rather than subscribing to a monthly service like Luna. However, the monthly subscription plan also has its limits, the least of which being the fact that there are 3 different channels you subscribe to. At the end of the day though, in both cases you don't really own the games, you're just paying someone to stream it to you. And of course, the games were the biggest problem. While both services had some great games, they most certainly don't have everything you're looking for. Stadia did not, and Luna is not publishing its own games to try and push their service forward. And because you don't actually own these games, you are at the mercy of the publisher as to what games are available and when. To understand this statement a little better, check out the video I made about that here. This has already proven to be problematic as Stadia has shut down entirely. They did refund people for the games that they purchased, but it does mean that all the games you individually bought are no longer available to you in any way. This will, of course, happen at some point to Luna too. There will come a time where it's no longer profitable for Amazon, and all the time and money that you spent on your games is now wasted. This doesn't absolve them from having their own individual issues. At least with Stadia, it comes with Chromecast, so it still has some use if you have an older HDMI compatible TV. The same unfortunately can't be said for Luna. My TV is a 2021 Samsung model, and it can't even download the Luna app. So if my options are using my phone, computer, or a really expensive TV to get the job done, then what's the point of buying Luna? I mean, the lack of attention to detail there contradicts the supposed affordability offered and advertised by Amazon. Again, I don't want the takeaway to be that cloud gaming can't be done correctly. All the frontrunners, the major companies, including both Amazon and Google, have put in lots of money into making cloud gaming as fluid as possible. I think it would be foolish to say that Sony and Microsoft don't have successful cloud gaming campaigns. While cloud gaming services like Luna and Stadia are promising concepts, they still have some significant limitations that can't be overlooked. It's understandable that major tech companies want to slice the cake with a new idea, but in both cases, they failed to put the resources necessary for a successful campaign. Neither have looked at what gamers really want, and clearly didn't understand the heavy maintenance that came with competing in the gaming industry. Google has already thrown in the towel, and I wouldn't expect Amazon to suddenly start performing much better. I hate to say it, but Google Stadia and Amazon Luna are not going to do much more than look pretty on your shelf. I'm not going to go as far as to say that the design of these two devices were failures. I genuinely like the way that both controllers feel in my hands, and the respective orange and purple coloring of the logos feel like a breath of fresh air in an industry dominated by red, blue, and green. But aside from aesthetics and a good Bluetooth controller, you really don't get much from either package. You have the Chromecast bundled to Stadia, but casting is a built-in feature on most new smart TVs. Gamers who value performance, flexibility, and a wide selection of games. Do I even need to say it? Stick to your PC and console games. Even a Steam Link would be a better investment for your remote gaming needs. Of course, Stadia has already come and gone, and I do want to see Luna have some kind of success for all the people that invest in it. However, I just don't see it happening. If you have a differing opinion, please let me know down in the comments below. You've actually made it to the end of the video, so while you're at it, please consider liking and subscribing if you found this content entertaining. Until then, guys, see you in the next one. Hold it! Thanks for sticking around till the end. Now, as promised, I have some good news to share with you all. 2 of my good friends and I will be starting a podcast together. I can't reveal too much to you right now, but I can promise you that the topics we cover will be directly linked to what I talk about on this channel. Those topics, of course, being video games and technology. If you want to stay updated on news regarding this podcast, you can either join my Discord server via the link provided in the description, or you can check my page regularly. Once we post the first episode, you will see a podcast tab on my YouTube channel page. I hope you guys are excited as we are about this news, and all 3 of us will see you there.